Hello everyone, this is Hamza Nasir and welcome to my YouTube channel. Um, Today I'm going to start the AWS services series where I will be discussing each AWS service in a more simplified, shorter and conceptual way so you people can understand it easily, and I will not dig into the details. I will be giving the overview of the service which will be easy to understand and make you feel comfortable for using it. So today I'm going to discuss uh, the core infrastructure of the AWS cloud. It basically contains three main components, which is region, availability zones, and VPC. So let's jump into the next slide and see the today video agenda. As I said, in the today's video, we will be understanding the AWS architecture. Why does it matters? And we will be also discussing about the understanding the VPCs. Okay, so first of all, regions. You can think of like countries, right? Like we have the AWS as a globe, and in the globe we have different countries. We have different geographic areas for the countries, right? So if we see on the AWS side, the regions are the separate geographical locations where multiple data centers are deployed for the AWS services. Like you can see as I write down the US East 1 and EU West 1. US East 1 is the US region in the United States, and the EU West 1 is the EU West 1 region in the Europe. So why do we need that? When your users are in the United States, you will definitely want your application deployed on United States or near to your users, so they can easily get access to your application on and don't get the latency or the lag. So it improves the user experience. On the other side, if we don't have the geographical areas and you deploy the application on the Europe region for the US users, it will be more latency for the end users, and they will get more lag to access your application in the simple terms. So now, what are the availability zones? So as the regions are the countries, the availability zones are the cities within the regions. Multiple regions can have the multiple availability zones, or sorry, the single region can have the multiple availability zones. Availability zones are the isolated data centers, right, for the fault tolerance. If your application or your server is deployed on the single availability zone, so if something bad happens on that data center or that availability zones, maybe the tornado comes out or maybe the data center is burned, so you will completely lost your connectivity to your application, right? Your user won't be able to access the end service. So the availability zones are used for the fault tolerance, disaster recovery, and obviously performance optimization. Um, I'm using the servers and application terms in the availability zone, so don't get confused with that. I will explain later in my videos what are the servers and what are the applications, or how can we deploy the EC2 instance in the availability zones or in the VPC. So I will completely explain that. So now we are looking into the VPC. So we have region. In the region, we have multiple availability zones. Multiple availability zones are the data centers, right? And the data centers have the single data center can have the multiple VPC, right? So the VPC is your isolated section of your AWS cloud where you will be deploying your EC2 instance, your databases, or your maybe the clusters. Maybe it's the container ECS Elastic Container Service, or it's the Elastic Kubernetes Service. I will again, don't get confused with those names. I will be explaining each service in my upcoming videos. How does the VPC looks like? Let me show you the diagram from the AWS so you can get better idea about that. So here's the basic diagram. Uh, as you can see, we have region. In the region, we have three availability zones. It can be the region can be US East 1. The availability zone can be US East 1A, the US East 1B, the US East 1C. And in the region, in this region we have VPC. So the VPC is the region specific. We can't deploy the separate VPC on the separate availability zone. Like we can deploy the VPC in region, right? And we can have the multiple subnets within VPC in the different availability zones, since the IPs are assigned from the subnets and the instances are within the subnet, right? I hope you are getting the understanding of it. In this scenario, I'm going to explain this again. We have region. One region have multiple availability zones. In this case, we have three availability zones. For example, if we say region is US East 1, this is the US East 1A, this is US East 1 2B, this is US East 1C. And we can only have we can we, so in the VPC we have different subnets, right? We can create the public subnet, we can create this the private subnet. Private subnet will have the IPs formed within the VPC side arrays that we have defined during the creation of VPC, and the public subnet will have the public IPs attached to the instances, or these subnets are connected to the internet gateway, or all the resources in these subnets will be accessible via from the internet. Or on the other side, if the subnets are private, the instance are accessible within the VPC IP range. So I hope you will get the basic understanding of the VPC architecture or how does that works. Um, let's get back to the slides. Uh, so we in the VPC we have subnets, as I said, public and private. We have route tables, we have security groups, we have internet gateway. So as I said, we have subnets, public and private. Route tables is the way of routing traffic to your destination, or where you want to communicate your VPC resources with. Security groups is some kind of blocking or allowing the traffic to your resources, right? Security group can you can limit the traffic for the specific port or for the specific protocol to your instance or to your any resource that is deployed within the VPC. The internet gateway allows your resources within the VPC to connect to the internet, right? So if you connect your VPC, or if you added the route to your internet gateway, your instance can be accessible via your uh, your local system from your home. So in the real world use, it is used to secure application hosting, multi-tier architectures, and hybrid cloud connections. I know these terms are difficult, but I will be trying to explain simply in my upcoming videos. So stay tuned for that. So this is it for the VPC video. I hope you like this, and let me know if I can improve the the content, or how do you people like it to explain me. Um, Let me know if you people like it or if I need some improvements in my content. I'm still learning and I'm still trying to improve my content on daily basis. So I will appreciate any suggestions or any help in this way. Also, I will be discussing from real scenarios from my DevOps work in this channel, so you will get definitely a lot of learning from it. So don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon so you won't miss any video from this channel. And have a nice day, boys, and have a nice day, guys. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.